everyone, Emily here from Emily Reads. This is going to be my third take in filming. I don't know how to edit videos. I said that in my newbie tag. I don't know how to do those things. And I'm filming by my window with natural light, and it's later in the afternoon. So if I start moving my chair around to try to get the right light and not a glare, I apologize. So this is the second video I'm videotaping today. This is the Let It Snow book tag. I decided to refilm the book tag because I had a couple books on there that didn't fit with the theme of the other books. They weren't very family friendly. And I wanted a book tag with a lot of cozy family friendly books. And it was perfect timing to film this video today because we're getting 12 to 16 inches of snow. It's still snowing in the window behind me. It started snowing at 9 o'clock last night. It's almost 3 p.m. here, and it's still snowing. So, let it snow. That being said, the first prompt, let me get my book. The first prompt is Book with a Snowy Setting, and I think of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, because it's set in Concord, Massachusetts, and it starts off at Christmas time. And they're sledding and they're ice skating. There's a significant plot event that happens when they're ice skating. And so that's why I think of Little Women. And this edition is just beautiful. It has, trying to find it, throughout the book, there's these beautiful, beautiful pictures there. And there's several classics that were put out with these kind of pictures. I have a copy of Jane Eyre from this publisher. I used to have Swiss Family Robinson and Heidi, and I got rid of them years ago because I was just like, I hadn't read them and I just had too many books. I regret that decision now. But the second prompt is a book that warms your heart, and that is Anne of Green Gables. And this is another book that my mother gave to me. And this is, and I got this back when I was in elementary school. And this is the story of the Cuthberts, Matthew and Marilla, who are brother and sister. And they're getting a little bit older, and Matthew just needs some help with the farm chores. And so they decided to adopt a boy to help Matthew. Well, instead of getting a boy, the orphanage sends them a girl. And she's very imaginative, she's very headstrong, she's got a temper, she's got red hair, and it's just about her developing friendships and Matthew and Marilla just growing to love this girl. It's a series of 8 books. This is the first one. This whole series just warms my heart. And the movies, the first 2 movies, so Anne of Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea, with Megan Follows and Jonathan Crowby, are just beautiful movies. Then the next book prompt is a place that you wish you could visit, and that would be Pride and Prejudice. And I would love, it is my dream to do a literary tour of England, Ireland, and Scotland. I would love to go see Jane Austen's house. I would love to see England. I would love to see Pemberley, where the BBC version with Colin Firth and Jennifer Eel was filmed. So I hope I pronounced her last name right. So that's why I chose Pride and Prejudice for a place I wish I could visit. Prompts number 4, series that you are in the middle of. So I'm in the middle right now of 3 series. I might be in the middle of a 4th, but I don't know. So this is the book that I'm currently reading right now, which is Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. I am on page 134. It's a slower going book. So I've been home and I've been reading, and I admit I've been on YouTube and Facebook today. So I've read about 60 more pages, so I'm now on page 135. And this just continues the story of the Atreides family on planet Arrakis. Can't really go into more than that, because there's so many spoilers for Dune. But basically, um, I don't know what took me so long to read Dune. I think I was very intimidated by the size and the themes of it. And finally, last year, I decided I just need to tackle it because I saw trailers for the movie that was coming out and said this thing is going to blow my mind, and I need to read the book before I saw the movie. And it's good. If you're a sci-fi fan and you have not read Dune, you need to pick it up. Another series that I'm in the middle of is I need to read The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. I don't know what I was thinking tackling so many behemoth series, but I also wanted to read the series because I wanted to watch the Amazon series. And then finally, I'm in the middle of, so this is the third book, Fool's Fate by Robin Hobb, is the third book in the Tawny Man trilogy. I cannot wait to read this book. I do want to read Dune first, though. I was just in the mood for something like cerebral that I could wrap my brain around. I was not ready for all of the emotions that Fool's Fate would cause me to have, just because Robin Hobb, she's beautiful, but she will break your heart every time you pick up a book from her. So this is the third book in the Tawny Man trilogy, and this is the 9th book in her Realm of the Elderling series. If you've not read anything, if you've never read Robin Hobb, please pick her up. She is beautiful. Book number 5, and this was the prompt. I'm sorry, my lighting is all over the place. This is the prompt that I decided I needed to change, and that is a book that I devoured. And I am replacing what I had originally to A Nest for Celeste by Henry Cole. I read this in 2 days, and it's just a beautiful book about a mouse who develops a friendship with Audubon's apprentice when they come to a plantation that she lives in for one summer, and just her adventures and the friendship that she makes not only with the apprentice but also with various wildlife creatures. And this book also has beautiful illustrations. That's not a good one of Celeste. That's a good one of Celeste. I just love how Cole was able to capture her surprise, her fear, her sadness, her joy within those drawings. And then number 6, a book that kept me up all night, is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. And it kept me up all night because I went to the midnight release party of this at Borders. I had pre-ordered it, and then I decided I wanted to go to the midnight release. And so I went. I think I got there at 10 o'clock at night, and I remember getting a colored wristband, which I no longer have. It has disappeared. And so they called us by our wristband color. And so I waited until about 1 o'clock when I was finally called to get into the line. So I just found a couple of books on the shelf, and I just sat down on the floor and I started reading. And then the line was all the way at the back of the store, and it just wound itself all the way through all the aisles. And then I was able to check out. Got home, and I read the first chapter of the book, and then I finally fell asleep probably around 2 a.m. So that's as late as I can go for staying up late at night. And then finally, some winter recommendations. So when I think of winter recommendations, I think of books that are family-oriented, that are happy and hopeful. And the reason why I think of that, and I also think of books that remind me of my mom and books that we shared. And the reason why that is My mother loved Christmas. She passed away on Christmas Day, unfortunately, in 2009. That was our wake-up call that day. And then her birthday is in January 18th. So for me, winter is a lot of time remembering good things about my mother, and some of the things that we shared. So the first book is Daddy Longlegs by Jean Webster, and this is a book about Judy Abbott, and she is an orphan living in an orphanage, and one day she gets called to the headmistress's office, and as she's on the way to the office, there's a thunderstorm and shadows, and she sees this image, like a shadow of a very, very tall man, but she doesn't see anything else about him. Well, she learns that he is a patronage of the orphanage, and he has decided to sponsor Judy to go to study at college, but she is not to know his name. And as she studies at college, she is to write him letters to give him updates on what she's doing and how her studies are going. And her goal is that she will be a novelist. So the Daddy Longlegs is her nickname for her patronage for her patron, because the image that she saw of him reminded her of a Daddy Longlegs. So this whole book is told in letter form, and it's just about the relationships and her friendships that she developed while studying at college. It's a very beautiful, heartwarming story. It's another story that my mother gave me, and of course reminds me of my mom. Also, there is a movie with Frank Sinatra. It's a musical based on this book. It's really not that good. So read the book, and if you watch the movie, just know that it's not that great. The next book for winter recommendations, and I find it quite ironic with today and the snow, is The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder. What says more about winter than The Long Winter? I still love Laura Ingalls Wilder. I know that some people find her problematic because there are racist things in her books. I think it's still important to read because of what the stories are. Yes, there are going to be racist things in this book because it is a product of its time, unfortunately. And I think it's important that we have open discussions with our children about those things, about what people did, what people said, and the implications of them, the harm that it did people, and just to teach them early on about how to not hate people and to not judge them based on very little information that you might have of that person. So I still love Laura Ingalls Wilder. Still think she's very, very important to children's literature. And then the last book is Sophies Heart by Laurie Wick. This is a Christian romance novel, and this is about Sophie, who is an immigrant from Czechoslovakia. So this was written, the fall of communism takes place during this book, and Czechoslovakia breaks into the Czech Republic and Slovakia during this book. So when she first comes over to America, it's still Czechoslovakia. And so she comes over, she's an immigrant, she comes over to America, and she ends up becoming a housekeeper / nanny to Alex Riley and his family, who are still dealing with the grief from his wife's and their mother's passing in a car accident a year prior. And so she is a Christian, a believer, a follower of Jesus, and so is his family, but they learn more about how to grow in their walk with God through her faith, and it's a romance. So of course, Alec Riley and Sophie, they fall in love. So those are my Let It Snow winter recommendations and some of my favorite books from my childhood. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please also let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are and what you're reading. If you are having snow where you live right now, stay warm and safe.